We live in a dream world in which all our necessities are at our fingertips. The gig economy provides us with a way to commute from one destination to another, eat the food we like every single time, buy groceries, clothes, electronics, and many more. They can help you clean your house, give you a haircut, or a massage anytime you wish. So the gig economy is your maid, driver, and courier service all rolled into one. Welcome to the world of platform-driven gig economy.
Today you can work when you want, you can work where you want. And this is the era of gig economy.
For these gig workers.
Enabled by technology.
Zomato, Swiggy,
Ola and Uber.
Getting a loan will be impossible without a job.
That gig workers are demanding.
There are 15 million gig workers in India.
How to recognize gig workers.
They have been denied social security benefits.
How will you pay your bills?
A violation of social security norms.
Because the gig economy, at the end of the day, is a gamble.
To maximize the potential of the gig economy, it is essential to address these challenges. The platform operators discern some of these and are trying to improve their value proposition to several of their stakeholders. While some platforms have started providing employee benefits and loan benefits to workers, assessing these benefits is still a challenge.
I think one of the challenges which we have found, and we have to try it for our service professionals, is that the safety net is very weak. That's the reason why we have opened out facilities for them to take short-term loans for us to tide over some of these challenging situations. And what we also do is we provide healthcare insurance to all of our service professionals, plus their spouses and their children, to make sure that they are comfortable. And any untoward event that ends up happening, they have access to credit, they have access to healthcare. And I think by and large, that then makes sure that they can bounce back a lot faster than what they would have otherwise done.
Look, when it comes to challenges which a driver would face, at the end of it, a driver chooses to join a platform to earn a livelihood and to have flexible, transparent, and sustainable earnings. I think if we were to today speak with drivers, and we do that every single week, every single month. I personally, myself, drive time to time. I kind of listen to drivers through focus group discussions, listen to the calls they make to our call center. I think there are three themes which come out consistently. One is predictability of earnings. For example, many drivers would love to get confidence around if I drive X hours of the day in X location, what would my earnings be, so that I can make a mental math on whether I want to drive for Uber, whether I want to drive on multiple platforms, whether I want to do something else, what time should I start driving. So we try and use data to actually educate drivers on that in a very, very material way. So for example, we encourage drivers. There was a phase when there was a spike of cancellation which drivers were doing because they were cherry picking. And we really worked with the drivers to say, look, if you start cherry picking and start applying individual judgment, what you are doing is it's actually sometimes leading to suboptimal calls. You should accept X number of trips. You should be not rejecting trips, say, to an airport. Here is how you should work. And here is how if you do this, your earnings could increase. So we are able to use the power of technology and the data to be able to educate them. The second thing any driver would, or in fact, for that matter, any gig worker cares very deeply about is safety net. What if I am not driving today and something was to happen to me? Who will provide for my family? In case I have an accident, do I get the support required? And that's where the obligation for platforms comes in. At Uber, we provide significant benefits to drivers. I think the third big question which I hear consistently is how do I grow? And this is a very important question which we take seriously. Many drivers tell us, look, I am in this vocation, but I'm not going to intend to be in this vocation for next 20 years. I want to actually become a fleet owner where I want 2 or 3 cars under me, or I want to do something else. And I think I deeply respect it, and that's where the flexibility comes in. Some of the early drivers who were associated with us went on to purchase a second car, a third car. Some of the drivers have gone on to in addition to being on ride sharing, also running services on food delivery. So there have been growth in different formats. Some of them have actually gone on to move cities and say, look, I moved to another city, and the beauty of it is I can quickly get re-registered with the Uber system and start driving, and nothing changes for me. So growth is a core area. And I think for each person that means different things. So we have to find ways to keep solving for it. None of them are going to be quick wins. This is hard work. This is requires consistent effort. But there are enough examples of drivers who have thrived with the platform and then gone on to expand their business.
There are some more tactical things we can do. I know again there's a lot of work on giving liquidity access to women in lower sections of the socioeconomic strata. And so I think pushing on that initiative to say that we're going to put, microfinancing or more liquidity, into, individual women's pockets so that they can start actually venturing out and buying vehicles or being part of, let's say, a delivery driver class and can actually start participating in that. I think that will be also a big factor that moves the needle, right? So everything from the social part, which is improving the stigma, to the financial part, which is helping them actually get access to some of these loans. I think those are the two key things that come in my mind.
The gig economy risks reproducing informality in the absence of collective bargaining power and social security for workers. Although the inclusion of gig workers in the Code on Social Security, 2020 was a positive step. Its actual impact remains to be seen. The definitions given for unorganized workers, platform workers, and gig workers are overlapping and confusing. Many experts believe that ambiguity still exists regarding the legality of social security for workers.
Given the idiosyncratic problems in India, I do feel that these standard business models that work in the West cannot completely be applied to India. So there needs to be refinements. To be sure, I think there have already been lots of refinements and transformations to suit the Indian terrain, but I do think that there are several problems that India as a country brings up that essentially needs to be solved as well. Like, for example, I certainly believe that there needs to be a lot more innovations applied in the last mile to make the lives of these participants easier as well and less onerous too.
The other aspect of having this large pool of labor created is that, again, it allows for platforms to sort of weaken the bargaining power of workers in many ways. When protests have happened, you can again easily onboard new sets of workers and get them to join the platform and do work. Or there has been outsourcing from one platform to another in order to get new workers to come and do this kind of work. So it is not only about shrinking incomes that happens on a platform when more and more workers join. It is also the fact that bargaining power of workers is deteriorating because of the fact that this easy onboarding process is built around the idea that the platform will get everybody, but has absolutely no responsibility towards ensuring that everybody who's part of the platform is actually getting work.
The gig economy would lead to a situation where the formal sector becoming more and more informalized. That's what we are seeing in the future. And we are also seeing possibly that currently, what we call as middle skills. Middle skills are larger in call. When we call middle skill, we just think that it is about some little bit of schooling with some basic numeracy and stuff like that. That is what we are calling as middle skill. But in future, we are thinking that there would be a polarization. That's what we are expecting, where there is, on the one hand, there will be greater demand for higher skills, and on the other hand, there will also be greater demand for lower skills also. But the middle skills might disappear. That's what we are, over a time period. That's what we are. It looks like that some data analysis that we have done. That's what it looks like.
Despite the platforms themselves attempting to fix many of the issues, some are of the opinion that more needs to be done.
We have given different sets of recommendations in our report for various stakeholders. We talk about enabling measures such as outcome-oriented skill training and platform-led skill training, platforms coming forward to train workers, which can lead to employment opportunities for these workers. Also, we have given suggestions like skill passports and skill badges that can reflect on the online profile of workers so that they have good opportunities for better incomes and career progression. We also talk about opportunities that can catalyze platformization through enabling individuals who want to join platforms or who want to set up their own platforms with credit facilities, with hand-holding support, with mentoring, so that they can be encouraged to transition into entrepreneurs. We also give recommendations on social security initiatives that platform companies can undertake, learning from initiatives that were taken by many platform companies during the COVID-19 pandemic situation, and also global examples of countries such as USA, UK, Indonesia for platform workers.
So today, if you look into the gig platforms, they charge between say 10 to 30% of commission for per work done. Now, if you look at the employee and the profitability the company earns from an employee is much higher. It's much higher than 50 to 70% for per employee that they're earning. So there is a bigger stickiness between the corporation and the employee, and they also are in a more authoritative position to tell what sort of work that they will do. Model can evolve going forward, where the gig platforms can give an option to the players or the workers on the platform to say they will do a certain number of jobs on a week, say 20 jobs in a week they perform, and based on that they get a fixed amount of money on a monthly or weekly basis. And they also have to work for a particular platform, say, and based on that they can get a social security, so that the companies know that this person has a bigger stickiness, has a bigger onus, and for rides that are done or say work that is done say beyond those 10 or 20, whatever is decided, they can get revenue in the current model. The other option is that people who are not on this full-time or this contract sort of thing, they are free to work anywhere, but they do not get the social security. So we can have two groups of people on the platform, one who has a bigger stickiness or who have say doing a number of jobs, that they do 10 or 20 work and they get a fixed amount of payment for that and get also social security per se, or the people that they continue in the current format. So this will give more trust to the people and the corporates in the ecosystem to work on this aspect.